to our Easter episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
I'm Dan.
I'm Kaila.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Josh. Ready? Charlie, how did the Easter Bunny treat you this year?
Well, let's put it this way. I didn't get the set of drums I wanted. I got a nice lifetime subscription to Weight Watchers. I will find you, you little furry thing.
Quite a critical individual.
Yeah, I didn't know. It's not like I wanted some chocolate or
Bunny
anything,
fairy.
you know. I just wanted some nice dark chocolate, and dark chocolate's good for the heart and wine, and, you know, I had it! Sorry.
Already. What are we going over today, Larry?
We're going over zombie novels.
Alrighty, zombie fiction. If you're wondering why we choose zombie fiction for Easter, it's because one of the most notable biblical references points to the fact that when Jesus Christ was crucified, he rose from the dead.
First zombie.
Then he ascended into heaven and he's seated at the right hand.
You will come again in glory to judge. Then we're studying the Nicene
Apostles' Creed.
Yeah, Nicene Creed.
Right.
So, no, obviously, you know, it's not about for Easter. This is just a little
Except
side
for
note.
the Assassin's Creed.
It's the most Christianly holiday.
Nicene Creed.
What's our first question, Larry?
First question is, what do you believe has made zombie culture so popular in this day and age?
Who wants to start?
I gotta start with that one. I think zombie culture became very popular like after George Romero's Night of the Living Dead came out. The thing is, because no one had ever seen anything like that before of zombies. I mean, the word existed, but like zombies before were like people who were under spells and possessed by, you know, spirits and stuff like that. They were basically under mind control. However, George Romero changed it up by creating things he called ghouls, which were like undead rising from the grave or coming back to life. And the thing is, just attacking and eating people like mindless monsters that couldn't be stopped unless you destroy their brain. And the thing is, zombie culture kind of, you know, was still always around, but kind of like died down a little bit. But I think with like the resurrection, with like no pun intended, with like The Walking Dead and stuff like that on TV, has like really raised the popularity of zombies coming back. Like now we're getting more zombie movies like World War Z and many other stuff basing around zombies and horror like that.
I also think people are very fascinated by the background that zombies come from. The fact that there are these quote-unquote rules about them. What happens when you become a zombie? How do you kill a zombie? How to prevent yourself from being attacked by the zombie? How to fight against a zombie?
Yeah.
And there's also the concept that it's an answer to life after death as well. You can see that at the Asbury Park Zombie Walk that occurs every year.
I think I would definitely agree with that. I think it's interesting the way that zombie culture has become almost like an obsession for us, the way that people, you know, they prep for a zombie apocalypse, they keep, you know, canned goods in their house, you know, that whole doomsday preppers aspect of it is really fun, I think.
People need to know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
at the
we
end
need
of
to
the
be
winter.
prepared in case there's a zombie apocalypse.
You know, I agree as well. People are, some people I know, or they got, you know, I go over to the house, you know, every now and then, and I'll see a gun rack, and I'll be like, how nice. Yeah, and no, I'm not joking. It's you know, because they take it way too far, and you know, there are guns that look real, but they're not. But you know, it's still, you know, oh, this is just airsoft, really? Okay, don't be fooled. And what's this? Oh, that's a grenade. Okay, don't let me near any of this crap. But you know, it's you know, still, you know.
Next question.
Okay, next question is, do you think that there is a complexity in the zombie works of fiction?
There's a complexion problem with that.
Maybe for someone like Charlie who doesn't understand the zombie works as much, there are
Not
people.
really offended, but still,
You got to get into it.
Yeah.
But is there, as long as you know the guidelines to approaching a work of zombie fiction, whether it's reading it or since
Attacking that zombie.
I
that's
write
what
horror
happened there.
fiction myself, so writing it would be there's just these the guidelines as to how a zombie kills, how a zombie can be killed, how to prevent yourself from a zombie apocalypse. That it was just going on the same.
I also think that one of the most important parts of this whole zombie phenomenon is the human aspect, because you're being attacked by these things that were once humans. But you know, you look at movies, shows like The Walking Dead, or you look at the graphic novels of The Walking Dead, and like what fans are really in that for is the human aspect, and to see how the characters relate to the zombies and how the characters survive that kind of a situation.
I have to agree with Kaila on that one. The whole human aspect is what makes it really complex because, yeah, the zombie mythology has always been relatively the same. I mean, yeah, there has been like a few differences between ones. The most obvious one is fast-running zombies compared to slow-moving zombies. But the thing is, like, the complexity is the humans, because the thing is, they're thrown into this world that has ended, and people and the dead are rising. And the thing is, you know, they're dealing with humans who are trying to survive, humans who are trying to kill to survive. And the thing is, you know, in that type of world, do you, like, one of the things is, like, in The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes mentions how you either stay who you are or you change with the changing world, alright? And basically, as The Walking Dead says, that's plain of words, that humans are the Walking Dead, while the dead are just the dead.
That's an interesting argument that you make.
I just hope I don't ever come across a zombie or become one. I don't know how I could do that. I don't know.
There's scientific evidence that it could be possible.
When you
but
become
very impossible.
when you become a zombie, all you're really thinking about is
Brains.
brains and
They're nourishing.
when you're
eating other.
it has been explained in most zombie films that like all they have is just the basic motor functions of eating and moving.
And killing.
Not as if probably the worst part about the zombie apocalypse is trying to keep away from the
To
zombies.
survive.
Especially when they're in groups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like herds.
Yeah, you don't
That's
want to
not-
Yeah, you're gonna need a nice.
see her just run.
Yeah.
You need a nice Gatling gun maybe for that.
Cause a lot of noise.
What?
Cause a lot of noise.
What?
Cause a lot. That causes a lot of noise.
I know. I'm kidding.
Next question.
Yeah, what is your favorite work of zombie fiction?
Oh, okay. Mine would have to be. It's pretty recent and it's not finished yet, but it would have to be the Empire of the Dead series, which is a great comic book written by Marvel Studios, and it's actually the story is written by the godfather of zombies, George Romero himself. So and I'm a huge George Romero fan. So the thing is, this series is very good, and it takes place a few years after Night of the Living Dead, and actually focuses on the sister of the main character, Barbara, who was in the series of the original movie, Night of the Living Dead. And it follows her in Manhattan that has been taken over by this whole entire zombie apocalypse like 40 years after.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Really? No, I mean it. That is
like,
interesting.
it's under military quarantine. The thing is, they also have like, it also has like some references to Land of the Dead, where they have like these things that they call stinkers, which are the zombies, fighting in gladiatorial combat. In this world, the zombies are beginning to gain their intelligence, just like in Land of the Dead. It also gives us an answer to Night of the Living Dead that people always wondered what happened to Barbara in the end. Apparently, from what we saw, is that her brother Johnny pulled her out, and David basically assumed she got killed. Turns out, part of his mind was still working and kept her alive until he was shot by thugs. And the thing is, the story just focuses on her and the whole entire world she's living in, and about like these zombies and the uprising of them. But also, there's another predator lurking within this world that we find out at the end of the first issue that vampires are also involved too. So that's pretty cool. If you like zombies, you like vampires, you got those two both mixed together.
You'll need a lot of garlic for a vampire.
Yeah, it's true.
Thank God I'm Italian, so.
The zombies, the vampires in those ones are usually seen at night. They don't come out in the day. So the thing is, day they deal with zombies, night they deal with vampires.
So they have
although
shifts,
not,
right? They have
yeah, the
shifts.
thing is, and the thing is, it's about her fighting off the vampires. The thing is, people don't believe that vampires exist, which, yeah, I think if you think zombies existed, you would pretty much believe a vampire could exist, but people don't seem to believe her. But yeah, it's basically about her life there, and it's kind of cool that she's mixed in with a character from Night of the Living Dead and finally gives us an answer to something we've always wanted to know. And it's just a great piece of work, and I've only read Act 1. Act 2 is coming out pretty soon, and they're going to create Act 3. So we'll see how the story progresses from there.
That'll be something to check out.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think my favorite zombie is obviously the Walking Dead graphic novels, but I'm not going to use this to talk about them. I'm going to talk about Charlie Higson's novel called The Enemy, which is young adults. It is insanely violent, probably the most brutal and bloody books I've ever read. But basically the premise is that one day everybody over the age of 16, I think, gets sick and turns into a zombie. So it's literally just a world left with kids 15 and under. So these kids are trying to attack these like 40, 50-year-old adult zombies who have like all these muscles and stuff. And it's just like, the story it gets really, really involved, and you follow a bunch of groups of different kids who are trying to survive in this new world. And you know, it similar to The Walking Dead, it eventually turns into kid against kid because, you know, all of these kids have to try and learn to work together. But it's just a really interesting series.
Seems like concept, especially for young
Yeah,
adult.
yeah,
literature.
it's intense.
That sounds pretty interesting. What's this called again?
The Fallen.
I'll look that up.
There's I know I have a few friends that are interested in supernatural, and they like that. But personally, I'm not a zombie guy. You know, it's not me. You know.
We
But,
respect that, that's okay.
Thank you. I'm not the odd man out here. I know I'm the odd man in the show, but no. But if I was to say zombie,
You're the lone wolf.
do I have to do the crowing? I will if you want me to.
You were spared in the Would You Rather book tag.
So, for those of you that watched that Would You Rather book tag, you noticed I was spared, so.
Oh
Oh, sorry. That's what happens when the power goes out during a thunderstorm.
That sounded like a wolf with laryngitis.
Thank you.
But, okay.
Better? Or
Yes.
the same?
No, that was better.
Good. Was it flat or sharp? That's
Sharp.
musical terms.
Being into horror fiction, zombie fiction is an area that I'm interested in on the contingency that it is original.
Okay.
So I'm going to double dip. My favorite zombie short story is a work by Robert McCammon called Eat Me, and it has to do with this man who has become a zombie who is looking for love, and he finds a female zombie, and they
Sounds very necrophilia.
yeah, it was when John Skip was writing the foreword to this in his collection, Zombies Encounters with the Hungry Dead. He mentioned that in many cases, works like these would be disqualified because they don't want intense nudity. But
And that was in the forward?
he was writing a preview
Oh.
to.
Oh, good. You know, what I don't understand, there's a forward. Why isn't there a backward?
The afterword.
Epilogue.
I know, backward.
Epilogue is within the story, and
I was
forward and afterward are people commentating on the work.
I know that.
Prologue and
I wanted-
epilogue are the author actually.
I wanted
It's
to make a
within-
really, really good joke.
You did, don't worry.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
My favorite zombie novel that I have read is Dead Sea by Brian Keene. It has to do with a man, his name is Lamar. Lamar Reed lives in Washington, D.C. He is black and he's openly gay. And he has gotten into this, is dealing with the zombie apocalypse. He has to help, with the help of a young kid, a woman, and plenty of other people. It's very interesting, this working toward the inevitable occurs. I'm definitely going to read more of Brian Keene's work because it's very intense. Does anybody have any final thoughts?
Stay safe.
Be prepared.
Aim for the head.
Yeah, I think Dan makes a good point. Aim for the head.
Yeah.
If you
Especially if you're a drummer.
first run like crazy.
I'm
try to get
fat,
as
so I'm-
far away from them as you
Yeah.
possibly can,
And if you
then aim for the head.
Can you try and reason with them and try and de-escalate the situation?
There's no reasoning.
If I
no-
may
yeah,
ask one last question before we go, what zombies do you prefer? Slow moving zombies or fast moving?
I think that fast-moving zombies are probably more intense.
I mean, like if I'm talking from which one would I rather defeat? Definitely slow moving.
Same here because I have more time to reload, and then I'm like, come on, how does this thing work?
Like the
Which has
zombies in
happened.
World War Z are terrifying.
Yeah.
I would never want to go against those
I would
zombies.
need a nice little army of people to help me.
I have to say slow moving zombies because
Yeah, I feel bad for
the
them.
actor Judy O'Dara, who played Barbara in Night of the Living Dead, when asked about this question, she said that she prefers slow moving zombies because they attack a horde as a one unity. And I think it resembles something of culture, of how the role is that one person against a whole group will never actually win. The
Mob
thing is,
mentality.
yeah. So like mob mentality can actually defeat one person no matter what their idea is. So the thing is, the zombies kind of represent that. Also, the fact that if it's a rotting corpse, your legs aren't really going to work super fast than
Yeah.
you
Stay for the head, but like I said, all the zombie stuff, it's fantasy. I would, if we were to classify it, it would be a fantasy, I think. But
I think it depends on. I think it could be there's zombie in the horror sense. There's zombie. Some of it there are fantastic.
What is that?
Uh,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
wonder what he.
No. No.
I thought you went to the bathroom.
If you want to check out the works, I'll leave them under. Have a blessed Easter. Keep reading.